YouTube's, we'll call it a safety bot, went through and took down one of my videos today. So, of course, the thing I'm going to do to be a rational, intelligent human being is just make another copy of it, put it up on all 3 channels. Headline, James O'Keefe's Google whistleblower, Zach Voorhees, loves QAnon, accuses Zionists of running the government, and is into Pizzagate and claims that Google is Big Brother and an AI bot designed to just censor people. And also, someone said that this person named Zach Voorhees claimed that there was a second shooter when that lady went to Google headquarters or YouTube headquarters and fired shots. He said that the AI was a censorship weapon. He also used the word Zionist. Virtually nobody uses the word Zionist in a way that doesn't mean that they're a Holocaust denialist or literally anti-Semitic. So he's a real piece of work. He used to work at YouTube and or Google, he claims. I don't know if he did or didn't. Anyway, I received a video complaint. Harassment, threats, and cyberbullying for me insulting someone who is also, on his page, a Obama birth certificate bullshit artist who claims that an easily traced pathway to find out where you get the anomalies in the PDF file doesn't prove that the paper that it was scanning is somehow inaccurate. Now, I grabbed a bunch of statements originally in the video I uploaded from his Twitter postings and made sure he couldn't delete them. The reason for that is this fair and balanced, chemically maybe not, birther joined YouTube 2006, and he has a habit of erasing his Twitter posts that show his past or his true colors. He also has a habit of flagging people for harassment and cyberbullying because he's a big crybaby bitch. And well, you're guilty of it again. Somebody who flags your video for mentioning or reading his tweets, that's not cyberbullying. I'm reading your bullshit. Anyway, software engineer Zach Voorhees said he was leaving the building when he saw a shooter in the courtyard yelling, "Come at me," as the woman opened fire at YouTube headquarters, and various other statements. And then there's a whole string of statements here, which I'm not going to reproduce. You'll have to look at all of the archive links. They go all over the place. But basically, it was a re-bubbling up to the surface of the idea that the birth certificate being put out as a PDF file, which was a ginormous, stupid mistake, has anomalies in it, and then just repeated the same bullshit. Meanwhile, the rest of us did a simple thing. Asked the White House, how did you scan the birth certificate? Don't play diversionary games. Just tell us exactly how you put a sheet of paper in it and produce the PDF file. Now, after about a month and a half of people couching their responses and not answering a fucking question because they're all a bunch of lawyers at that point, and they are under attack, so they're behaving like it, they finally just said, yeah, it's a Macintosh. We hooked it up onto one of those scanner-printer combo things that you get from the store and just stuck it in there and scanned it as an image file. Well, it went through a Macintosh, and it went through its Quartz preview utility, and it dumped the information in a way where it tried to optimize it, and it looked like it was photoshopped. That is not just a simple explanation. You can do that with the same equipment. You'd have to use the identical equipment that was available back then with your birth certificate. It would make it look just as fake. And the thing is, this has been proven by about 100 people just going ahead and saying, what's the name, brand, and make and model of each of the pieces of equipment involved in the chain of evidence. And then they just went out and bought it and tested it with their own fucking birth certificate. It doesn't matter what you put into it, it wants to bust it up in layers, because that's how you compress things. Video on YouTube gets blocky because it's compressing it. And it does the same thing where it shifts things around and makes anomalies. By me mentioning that to you, and then also pointing out that it happens on digital TV over the air, and a lot of you experience it, and I experience it in the town I'm in right now, you know damn good and well I'm not fucking lying, and that's a perfectly reasonable explanation and a good analogy. But no, not if you're a birther who's still trying to make it to where Barack Obama was never elected president for some reason. I want Trump not to have ever been president, but the fact is, that's not possible, okay? And you can't invalidate the presidency. It's done. Birthers are a sad, pathetic pile of shit these days. For fuck's sake, drop it. But anyway, this guy brought it up that year, and I don't even remember what year it was. But anyway, I grabbed all his tweets and stuff like that and made fun of him in a video. So this is bullying, harassment, and threats. I must have threatened him. Now, the other person I brought up was, quote-unquote, the person who posted a comment under one of my videos. I can't find the comment anymore, nor did I archive it, so I may have just been responding to him directly. He might have even posted a comment, and then after I got it, deleted it. Which is possible. I don't know. I might not have even been dealing with him. The only other person mentioned in the video, I'm assuming it was him that I'm responding to, because it has other things in here besides him making claims, was James O'Keefe, who runs Project Veritas, who is a complete and utter train wreck of a human who can't keep his head out of his ass. He expends a shit ton of time and energy, James O'Keefe, in creating propaganda. Propaganda, if you're not aware of it, by definition is lying nobly. Doing a noble lie. Telling people things that aren't real to get them to act a certain way. Manipulation. And in the past, being a propagandist was actually a job title. No, I'm not kidding. There's one hero in the Philippines that was a propagandist, and people don't like that, but that's what he was. His job was to write up political propaganda that would influence people, that was never based in fact, and didn't have to be. It's not relevant. It's like being a salesman. You lie about the car you're selling. It's fluffing a product. Salesmanship. That's what James O'Keefe is. That is what Project Veritas is. Everybody knows he's going to phony up something. And once in a while, James O'Keefe has actually done legitimate journalism. No, I'm not kidding. He has. I will begrudge him the fact that every once in a while he's a stopped clock, in my opinion, but he does things that are valid. He's caught people doing shit they shouldn't do. In fact, originally started off, besides being a political bullshit artist, he started off doing pranks and also going after people who were doing shitty things. James O'Keefe is not truly completely evil. And Zach Voorhees, whether he worked at Google or not, I don't care. I can't get an accurate depiction of anything he ever did, so it doesn't matter. Has made all sorts of claims that don't make sense, that don't match anything. But he is right that Google and their AI bot and YouTube and their AI system for flagging shit is guilty of censorship, and it's like Big Brother. I mean, we're living it, okay? We know that. But the other shit he throws in, like being a birther and posting about Pizzagate and talking about Zionists and shit, puts him in that same category where I put people who have not got their head out of their ass. You have not been red or blue pilled. You have to do the purple pill. If you pick one or the other pill, you're just sticking yourself in a different cult. Purple pilling is seeing both sides and realizing you should only hang on to the stuff that works. You can't pick, well, you have to pick one side or another. Both sides have accurate information. They also lie. They're also propagandists. You can't require people pick one side or another and just take the shitty stuff with the good. You can take the good stuff from both sides and make a third group. Dare I say a third party. Google senior software engineer at YouTube or whatever, Zach Voorhees, said he saw a second shooter at the shooting at Yahoo headquarters. Someone in the courtyard yelling, "Coming at me," and pointing a gun. Or it could have been somebody drawing a weapon or drawing a taser or a mace canister, and he could have made a mistake. Nope, not even acknowledge that, apparently. And this is what I got flagged for: harassment, threats, and cyberbullying. Or the fact that I quoted the fact in the video by putting it in the title and the description that he called people Zionists. Oh yeah, the AI bot doesn't care that I'm criticizing Zach Voorhees, James O'Keefe, generally conspiracy theorists. No, it doesn't fucking care about that. And yes, the video will stay down. It doesn't matter because YouTube does not correct their bot. So the bot gets worse. As I do with every one of these videos. YouTube and Google run an artificial intelligence system that they won't correct when it's wrong. They won't correct it, so it always gets less correct. We're lucky it isn't running cars and killing people. And the same AI bot, yes, this is the part that pisses them off, is what determines whether or not your advertisement you paid YouTube and Google good money to put up is targeted correctly, and it gets it wrong. And everybody's had that experience where you be on YouTube and it's showing you an advertisement that absolutely nobody would want to show you if they didn't want you to just point out that this is goofy. We make fun of how bad the AI bot is, but YouTube has decided to use it to judge our videos because I had the word Zionist in it. So I can't spell it that way. I have to substitute the O for a 0, and do some other things like all the S's become the number 5. Is that what I have to do? Because Google will not stop running a bot that's broken. I'm going to repeat this again. The money that they earn by putting up advertisements is based on an accuracy level caused by a bot that can't figure out that I'm criticizing anti-Zionists. And I'm criticizing birthers. And I'm criticizing James O'Keefe and Zach Voorhees. You see, this really basic thing that you cannot make a mistake about, the bot will make a mistake about. Because bots are shitty at evaluating humans. I'm not even being ironic about it. I'm reading almost exactly the title that was put up on a website talking about these two idiots talking to each other. And coming up with some crazy bullshit. And the joke about it was, James O'Keefe can't stop owning himself, meaning screwing himself over. He's his own worst enemy. And again, I have to point out, James O'Keefe, just like every other propagandist and salesperson, they don't care if you find out they're lying. They don't care. That's not relevant. Were they successful? Did they manipulate people? Are they able to get something done? It's not how good you are, it's how effective you are in politics. And that's the rule they run under. James O'Keefe and Zach Voorhees are the only people mentioned in the video, and the only people I could be responding to. I made a video pointing out that both of them are the same level of obsessed with fighting some great foe, half the population in the country apparently, who vote the way they don't like, or something. And neither of them are particularly truthful. I don't think Zach Voorhees is truthful because he's into Pizzagate and claims Zionists are doing something bad. And he loves QAnon. And is that really true? Well, yeah, going through his Twitter feed before he started expunging things like he does all the time, I found out all the crap he really believes. He does this as dog whistling conspiracy theorists. And that's the next thing. Even though James O'Keefe cannot really be described as a conspiracy theorist, he flags them. He flogs them. He rabble-rouses conspiracy theorists to mobilize them as an army, which is what happened when we had the United States Capitol attacked. Those are a bunch of conspiracy theory consumers. And Zach Voorhees appeals to that as well. He, quote-unquote, gave up his job at Google for $100,000 a year. I really doubt that, but if he did, I think he may have gotten fired or quit because he found more money somewhere else. I don't know. But I do know he's not a fair and balanced birther, which is the only real claim I covered, and he brought up a bunch of arguments here that I cut and pasted from his Twitter feed. Now, what I'm going to include below is only my conclusions about him, and you can read the links, there's a whole shit ton of them, and watch a couple of videos that people have put up, including Zach Voorhees and James O'Keefe, and evaluate them yourself. I invite you to do so. This is what my video was flagged for. No, it was flagged because it included certain keywords and their bot can't be shut off because they're not allowed to. Former employees at Google have stated factually, not that only conservatives are censored and all that other shit, they've stated rather matter-of-factly that they're not allowed to talk to anybody because they'll get sued, and they're not allowed to overrule the bot. The bot is running the show. And if you can't correct a computer routine that's an artificial intelligence system, it becomes an artificial non-intelligent system. The whole point of an artificial intelligence system is you grow its intelligence by correcting it when it's wrong. You don't assume it's always right, and you don't base being employed on whether it says you should be fired. That's dangerous and stupid, and Google keeps doing it. And again, if you're advertising through Google or YouTube, you're a fool if you think that their targeted ads aren't run by the same bot that get basic shit like this wrong. Now I have to go through and type up a censored version of this video's title, upload it in all 3 channels, and make it visible whenever it's a slow day on all the channels. And if they decides to pre-flag everything, I'll just make another version of it so I evade flagging. I doubt that either of these individuals actually flagged me. One of them, Zach, has been missing in action for a while, essentially, and James O'Keefe couldn't give a shit about me if he tried. I don't know. Maybe the bot didn't do it. Maybe they really did flag me. I just doubt it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. And here is your re-upload of a video YouTube has chosen to shoot down.